This is Josh Taylor and you're watching Boxing Social.
This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. It's about 12:30 in the morning.
It's pretty late. It's very late. Almost 1 o'clock maybe.
I'm delighted to be joined by the Punisher, Josh Pritchard. How are you doing, Josh?
Good, thank you, Rob. Yeah, really well.
Nice to sit down with you. First time I've actually done an interview with you. I think it's one of the first interviews that you've actually ever done, isn't it?
Yeah, I've definitely not done many. Maybe one or two before, just after my debut. But that's about it. It's been a long time.
Talk to me a little bit about that, because you're 24? Are you 24? 23, beg your pardon. Talk to me a little bit about how you got into the sport of boxing, right back to the very beginning.
Well, I started when I was 11, 12 years old. Just done the normal thing the little lad does. Start as an amateur, worked our way through the ranks. Ended up boxing for England a couple of times. Went to the Three Nations. Got done about six national finals, something like that. So was a decent amateur. wasn't the best amateur, but was a decent amateur. And then I came to thinking I wanted to turn pro. And fortunately, we had a phone call off Barry to do some sparring with Frampton. That was back in 2014, just before he was going to have his world title fight with Kiko. I'd done a few rounds sparring with him. Went really well. Barry and Shane was happy with the work, so they called us back in, and it went all from there really. Got invited back, and he obviously won the fight. I think Shane and Barry sat on it for a little while, then got a call back, done a bit of training with Shane, and it all went from there really. Yeah.
What was it like getting that phone call? Not every day that Barry McGuigan rings you up. So what was that like, getting that call?
I was actually ground working at the time. I remember I was on site working, doing a bit of drainage actually, and the old man phoned us. So I jump out the hole I was in, picked up the phone, and went, "Oh, mate, you never guess what? Barry's been on the phone to me. He wants you to go spar Frampton." And at the time, it was actually where the amateurs have their summer break, have the 6 weeks off, and all I was doing was a bit of strength training. And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I think I've only been back in the boxing gym for about a week or something, but anyway, I was like, "Yeah, just take the opportunity with both hands." So I begged my boss at the time to give us a day off during the week. So he did, and he went, "Oh, you got to work overtime on the Saturday." And I was like, "Don't worry, all right, I'll do that. Don't worry about it." All the lads were in the canteen chatting about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't wait." Went out there, done really well in that, but yeah, it was brilliant hearing from Barry, and that. It was great, really good.
And then how do things progress from there?
Obviously finished the sparring. Had another call from Barry. Done a bit of work with Shane on the pads and that, and put a contract in front of me. And obviously, I was delighted, absolutely delighted. So signed the contract and made my debut on the undercard of Frampton Avalos when he defended his world title for the first time. That was in February the 28th, 2015. So, yeah, I mean, I had an amazing debut on an undercard of a world title fight. I mean, obviously you don't get much better debuts than that. So, had the debut, and then from there on I had 5 fights for Barry and Shane. My last one was, I think it was in November maybe, 2015. So, and then it came to 2016. I had 2 fights lined up. I had one in Feb. And then when was the Frampton Quick fight? Was that March, was it? It was February. So I think I had two lined up in February. One at maybe the start of February, and then one at the end of February. was training away in January for it, and then I had something wrong with the scans to renew my license. Turns out I got something called a Cavanova, I believe it's called, which I could have been born with. So that was hard to hear, because we didn't know at the time what I actually had. We didn't know if it was a bleed on the brain or something like that. So that took about a good few months to find out what was wrong. Went and see a specialist, found out, got his opinion, and then the board sent me to a specialist in Southampton, got his opinion, and all the opinions I got was positive. Was fine about it. Was fine about the scan, and then I had a meeting with the board at the end of 2016, and that's just where it went a bit south, really. Obviously, all the British board want to do is just look after all their fighters. So they didn't give me my license after suspending it. So the trouble is, it happened at the time when we had Nick Blackwell, and we had all the tragedies. So it wasn't the right time for it to happen, but it's one of those things. So obviously that happened. So I actually got a part-time job in a shop to fill the year, and I kept coming up to London to see Shane and Barry and that. Still carry on training with Shane, hoping that there could be some new light on the situation. But it turns out that there wasn't. Obviously, they didn't give my license back, and that was it, really. And then New Year's Eve, 2017, Sandra gave me a call, Barry's wife, and said, "Josh, do you want to come to Vegas for the Frampton, Santa Cruz?" Yeah, Frampton Santa Cruz #2. So, absolutely. So, quit the job, came out to Vegas, and I was working as Shane's assistant. So, Shane asked me to be his assistant, which absolutely loved it. First corner was Frampton Santa Cruz. That was a bit daunting. Obviously, it's total different role, but it was brilliant. You can't have asked to do a better corner than that for your first one. But done the first corner, and it was from then on. Shane was with David Hay in Miami for the training camp. When David was training on the boat, as we all remember. So he was out there, and I was back in the gym. We had a couple of fighters in the gym, so I was just helping out, doing what I can, helping the lads out, train away, and that's how it's progressed, really. So 2017, I started with Shane as his assistant, and I've carried on since then, and here we are now.
Let's just go back to that, because I have some experience with some fighters who have gone through similar things. Tommy Martin, Junior Saba, who now I believe is going to be coming back to box, but also had something similar with a brain scan. One thing that I can't quite understand, I don't think I'll ever be able to understand, is working so hard for so long, like you did from 6 years old or from a very young child, and then to have that taken away from you. Just explain to me, if you can, what it was like to hear that, to be told that you can't box anymore.
Barry took me to a specialist in London, and that was the first time I heard from a specialist, and his words were, you'd be reckless to get in the ring again, and that was sort of the first opinion we had, but since then we had other opinions, but hearing those words when you finally got to a point in your life where you think, this is it, I'm ready to reach my potential, which I've been striving for so long. It's no words can describe the feeling. I broke down. I had my mum and dad in the room. I had Barry in the room. We all broke down. It was well, I can't describe it. It was my worst nightmare. So, but it was all a bit of a mess really, because I heard that news, and then since then I had positive, overwhelming positive opinions on the situation. So I didn't really have any closure, to be honest. It was a bit of a weird one. But for me, working under Shane in this new role is my closure, really, you know. So, but yeah, describing how I felt when I got told that I shouldn't box anymore was brutal. It's horrible.
What was it like having somebody like Barry there to be by your side, to go with you to see the specialist? Barry's somebody who has a long storied career, which has had its ups and downs. I mean, he had some tragedies with one of his opponents. Yeah. What was it like to have him there? What kind of advice did he give you? Just what was that like?
I mean, it was great to have Barry there, you know. But yeah, when you're in that situation and you get told that news, although Barry he's an amazing fella, and he is, you know, he was so supportive of the situation. It's just at that time it doesn't matter who's there. You hear that news and it just goes right through you. It's horrible. But you know, Barry was positive. Everyone was trying to be positive. What you got to understand is there's so much more to life than boxing. But at the time when you're a fighter, that's all there is. That's all you want to do. But you know, he was always filling me with positive news and positive, you know, positive things to say. But it was just horrible. You know, it doesn't matter who's there with you. It's just not the news you want to hear.
After hearing that news, was it difficult for you to be around boxing, to watch boxing, or was it a case of, you know, I know some people who have been through similar things. Tommy Martin's tried his hand at training. I know some other guys stay in the gym, as you said you did, with, you know, the hope that things maybe could change. I mean, how difficult was that? First of all, being in limbo, not knowing, and then finally having that realization that, look, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of time at the gym in terms of the gym in London. I was sort of back and forth with it all. But where I was in limbo for such a long time, it was hard. It was hard, but sort of at the start, I didn't really accept what was going on. I just brushed past it and said it'll get sorted, and it'll be fine. I'll just carry on as normal. But yeah, it's weird. I mean, people will probably handle it in different ways, you know. I sort of, as much, I had a little bit of time out where I wasn't always in London, but you know, you could just carry on, keep going, and change roles. But it is hard. Like you do find hard times. But I mean, I'm in the gym constantly now, and I have been since then. So, and you just got to move forward with it, really.
Just staying with that, really. When did it first? I'm sure you still have issues with it now. I'm sure you have your good days and your bad days. But when did it finally click for you that there were things outside fighting? There was other avenues for you to still remain in the sport, to sort of gain closure, if you will, if you have.
Yeah, I mean, probably, I'd say maybe the back end of last year. So even while helping the fighters out with Shane and stuff, I still found it hard. I'll be honest, I still find it really hard. Just watching the fighters in the gym, especially when they're actually in the ring fighting. I'd love to be back in there. But I'd probably say at the back of 2017, last year, I felt like I was starting to really enjoy getting into the coaching side of things. And then now it's totally flipped, and I've got my own fighter, which we'll talk about. But now find yourself as a first-hand coach, that's when I've found my closure now. Is when I've actually got my own fighter, and when you sort of got your own thing going on and you concentrate on your own little project, that's when you get your own closure, I'd say.
How important has Shane McGuigan been to this whole process? Because, I mean, obviously you work together as trainer and fighter, and then, I mean, I assume I've seen you, somewhere along the lines you became friends, and now you're working together side by side in a stable. How important has his influence been on you, and the fact that he's taken you into this new role and this new chapter in your life?
Yeah, for me, Shane is, firstly, he was my coach. Unbelievable coach, and it's flipped, and now I'm working for him in a different role. But Shane is, for me, more importantly, has become a huge friend. Shane for me is one of my best mates now, which is more than anything. It's that lad's done a huge amount for me. I had so much respect for him as a coach in the first place, but now working with him from a different angle, I've got loads of respect for him. He's a great lad. He's a really good lad, and an amazing coach, an amazing teacher. You've either got that or you haven't, and Shane's got that. He's very good at getting his point across to people, and just analysing stuff. Just he's a really good coach. But as a bloke, he's become one of my best mates just through this whole situation. But not just Shane, that the whole McGuigan family has done so much for me. If this happened to me and I was in another team, who's to say that I'd ever have this opportunity? These guys have just accepted it and just taken me in and just said, we're going to help you out, Josh, and we want you still in the team in a different role. So the whole McGuigan family as a whole is done so much for me. They're amazing people, really are.
Where do you think you'd be had you not got that phone call from Shane, come to Las Vegas, come to help us out? Where do you think your life would have gone? I mean, you seem to be somebody who I see around a lot. You're very much happy-go-lucky now. You always got a smile on your face. Yeah. Where would you have been without that influence, without sort of being where you are now, if that makes sense?
I've not really thought about it. I'd have probably found it hard to get into coaching if it wasn't for Shane. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably. I don't know, to be honest. I've not even thought about it, Rob. I'd probably be training away, doing something else. But I don't know if I would have gone straight in with the coaching. I think I would have found that really hard to do that. To be under Shane, it's been easy for me, because I'm watching the best every day. So you just go into that role automatically. But if I didn't have these guys, then I don't know what I'd have been doing. Honestly, I don't know.
How has your role changed now? So you've gone from somebody who's working a corner to now you've got your own fighter. Yeah. You're now a trainer. Mm-hmm. How has that been different for you, and how did that progression happen? How did the progression happen? How did you go from that to what you are now?
So obviously through last year, learning the ropes through Shane, he was saying at the end, like, get your own fighter at some point, and then it was like, I think you should get your own fighter soon, and then little Jack, he come up to spar. I say little, he's taller than me, but he come up to spar Lee McGregor, and I looked at him then. I was like, it'd be great. I know he's looking to go pro. He has his license and stuff, so I thought it'd be perfect. Good kid, good amateur, schooled well, so it'd be perfect for me. Perfect. And he's a talented lad as well. And not only that, he's just a nice lad, real nice lad, easy to work with. So yeah, Shane spoke about it. He was like, I think you should give it a go, Josh. So that's how it went really. But I've known Jack, or known of Jack, all since the amateur days. He was always a couple of years younger than me, but coming through the amateurs. So I knew of Jack anyway. I knew he was a good kid. But yeah, Shane was pushing me to, always saying, you should get your own fighter soon, and it'd be good. Train the gym, train with all the lads, do the same training. So so I just thought, why not? This is it. I've only been doing it a year, but let's do it. Let's give it a go. You only become a good coach if you give it a go, aren't you? So,
what was it like to get that blessing as you were from Shane, that he feels that you're ready to do that? Shane McGregor is one of the top trainers in the world. For him to see in you that you're ready to take on your own fight, it must have been a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, it was great. I've been loving that he's just given me a responsibility of helping him out in the corner, helping him out the lads. It's I've just been loving that, but then let alone for him to say, yeah, let's do it, mate. Let's get your own fighter. So it fills me with loads of confidence, But just watching Shane in the gym, day in, day out, that you pick up that style, you pick up the way he's teaching, so you can just push it into your own fighters. That's all I'm doing really. Is I've learned of Shane a way of teaching and a certain style and that sort of thing, and I'm just I'm trying to push that and implement that into Jack. So, but for him to say, I think you should give it a go is great, brilliant.
What's harder, fighting or training fighters?
Each have its difficulties. Definitely fighting, making weight. That's you don't have to make weight when you're a coach. But coaching's definitely not easy. I've only got Jack at the moment. He's only just had one fight. He's only had his debut. But Shane, 5, 6 fighters. He's a busy lad. He's in that gym all day, every day, getting his arms punched. It has its difficulties. Coaching's definitely not an easy role. But yeah, I'd have to say fighting, mainly because of the weight and the food.
Looking back, what tidbits of information would you give yourself as a fighter? Now you're a trainer. Now you can see it from the other side of things. What would you have told yourself coming up, or even in your early career, your very unfortunately short career as a professional? What would you have told yourself looking back as the trainer you are now?
There's so much. I've learned so much over these last couple of years. Be patient. I've learned so much about boxing in general. I had this conversation with Shane the other day. I said, I do things so differently now. If I was a fighter, you're a lot more knowledgeable of the game. Now you see it from a different side. Obviously it helps out. I'm surrounded with great fighters, George Groves, Josh Taylor. So you pick up little things. But yeah, I'd probably say patience, is a huge thing in professional boxing. But there's loads of things I'd be doing differently in all sorts of ways. Training, actually getting in there, the preparation, lots of things I'd be doing differently. But yeah, patience is a huge thing. A huge thing.
And with your personal life, I hope you don't mind me sharing this with the world, but you're going to be a young father. Myself, as a father of a young child, I know how much that changes me. Good luck with that. With that in mind, you've got these. You're now a trainer. You're going to be a father.
Taken on a lot.
Taken on a lot. Yeah. Could you have ever envisioned that when you got that phone call, or when you were told by that specialist, look, you're not going to box? You're here 18 months later, 2 years later, and you're going to be a father. You've got your own. You've got your own fighter. He's 1-0. I mean, what a transformation that is.
It's gone full 360. I mean, you could have never back then. I could have never just pictured, you'll be doing this in a year, 18 months time. But everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in that, and I wouldn't change for the world now. I love what I do. I can't wait to have my own little family. It's gonna be great. I'm loving life right now. I'm in a great position, and I've got great people around me. I'm in a real happy place.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm gonna leave it there, because I think anything further, I don't want to not spoil, but I think that's lovely, and I really do appreciate you opening up on what I know must be a very, very difficult. I don't know, to be honest with you. I can only assume that is a very difficult situation and a very difficult thing to talk about. And I do really appreciate and respect the fact that you've sat down to speak to me about that. So thank you very much. And I look forward to following your career as a trainer, and following you around, and hopefully not getting in your way too much before Josh Taylor fights this weekend.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you. No, I appreciate your time, mate. I've been looking to get it sorted out, but it's been hard to come to terms with putting it on paper or doing an interview. It's been hard to put it out. So no, I appreciate your time, and it's a bit of closure for me, mate. Telling the world about it. So I appreciate it. Cheers, Rob. Thank you. Plus, it's freezing, mate. It's really cold out here. I can't wait. It's 1:00 in the morning. We're sat in the lobby, mate. It's freezing.
This is what it's all about, man. Come on. But no, mate, really am humbled and honoured that you decided to share this story with me. Josh,
Cheers,
the Punisher Pritchard.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate. Thanks. Cheers, buddy.